Are you just checking boxes? Are you truly living and building a life? This is going to be a very, very quick video with just some thoughts I have from recently completing this Ironman event that I took on as a challenge this year, and some of the stuff that it made me think. I wanted to share that with you because I realized, it drove me deeper into my thought of, am I checking boxes or am I actually doing something worthwhile with my life? To kind of start this off and to lead this up, there's a little bit of a story. My dad took a video of me crossing the finish line in Ironman. It was a really, really cool moment. It was awesome to complete this thing that I've been really working for the entire year. I've been extremely driven to do this because, one, I'm not a swimmer. I can swim to have fun and jumping off a boat and playing at a lake or whatever, but I can't swim to really get anywhere, and I've never been able to swim freestyle or do any of those things. And so it was a big thing to overcome, to be able to do that and to be able to grow that skill. So I crossed the line, and my dad mentioned I did something that nobody else did. I walked across the line, I turned around, and at Ironman, and pretty much any race, there's a timer board, and it shows the time. Well, at Ironman, it shows the names of who just crossed, and it shows their finish time. And my goal was, goal was 12 hours. Awesome goal was anything in the 11s. 1 minute in the 11s, and I was stoked. And so I turned around, and I looked up, and you can see in the video, I turn around and look up, and I go like this. And that was me checking a box. I did 11:34 or 11:36. One would think that I should be able to remember that. It's totally irrelevant how exact it is. To me, it was just in the 11s, and that was good enough. But I realized I was checking a box. And I didn't realize that right in the moment. I was happy. I was excited. But I see so many people. There's so many different emotions and feelings at the ends of these races. People are cheering. People are happy. People are crying. People are wildly emotional. Full spectrum. I was proud of myself. I was happy that I made it through it. Ultimately, I was happy that I crushed the goal that I wanted to crush. And Andy Frisella says something, don't know if he said this himself and he came up with this or somebody else did it, but winning is more fun than fun is fun. And I know that when I looked at that board, I saw a win. But after this event, after seeing how many different people react that much different ways, I started thinking when I was running and doing some of this other stuff, and I had lots of time to think when I was done with the event, because it lasts so long and there's no audio. It's kind of like quiet thinking other than talking to someone. I had all this reflecting time in the event and after the event. Like, why do you do these things? Why are you involved in this? And am I just doing it to check that box? Am I just doing it to hit that goal? And it made me think, why has the goal always been to just grow the business so much? Why has the goal always been to grow the business so much? These are these thoughts I'm having flood into my mind since when I'm still doing training, I'm still swimming, I'm still running, I'm doing these things. Am I just checking boxes? Am I just setting new goals? Is it a wasted life? Because I heard another person earlier this year say the biggest fear in life should not be the fear of death, it should be the fear of a wasted life. And so the more I thought about it, which this reflection has been awesome for me, I've been able to travel into what it was for me. But the context of the story is really, you should be looking at your life. It really opened this up for me that we all get the opportunity to look at our life and ask that same question. Am I truly just checking boxes, or am I doing something with meaning and with reason so there's some kind of positive outcome? Because I do think the best thing we can do in life, yes, we can grow businesses, we can do all of this stuff, we can make a lot of money, we can win cool things, right? But the best thing we can do is positively affect other people. Hear me having the uncomfortable clothing line thing that, we're not currently doing at this point. We still have the idea is there, and the spark, it's just an ember and it'll burn again. There's, me leaving at the bottom of the posts, stay uncomfortable. There is all of these little things, these challenges that I do for myself and for a bigger reason, and ultimately just making sure you're doing stuff for a positive reason that is truly affecting others. And that for me is a huge goal, and I think for all of us, the most rewarding thing is being able to help others. That's like it cut through all the rambling. I'm not trying to ramble, but this is like a meaningful thought to me. Judging if what we're doing is positively affecting others. And I was asking myself all of these questions. Is this for some kind of positive outcome, for some bigger thing? And I was ultimately able to answer yes. I realized after the event, I'm judging more and more things. Is this positive? Is this bullshit? Is this just to make money? Is this just to prove a point? Or is this positively affecting others? And I'm able to, after that event, judge those things I feel like even more clear. And I realize like my passion, my reason, one of my big purposes is I just feel called or guided to be a beacon of light, be an inspiration to people, be a leader worth following, best father and husband I can be. And I realized these things that I'm doing, yes, checking that box was for me. So I did get to check a box. But along the way of getting to check that box, I got to set the example for my kids that being healthy and staying active and shooting for massive goals is worthwhile, is something that you can do, is something that you can accomplish things even when adversity strikes, because adversity struck this year when I got injured. So inspirational to them. I write in my planner every day that, you know, I want to raise young men. I want to train my boys to be men, guide my boys to be men. I want to show them adversity and what it looks like to try hard and to have this thing where they're honing this masculine skill so they can go out in the world and be able to take a hit, because everyone is going to take a hit. And then this thing, I realize the more I do it and the more messages I receive, I realize how just doing hard stuff inspires other people to do hard stuff and how powerful and beautiful that is. So it's not just about Iron Man. This conversation is truly about looking at the things you do in your life and actively trying to do the things that will positively affect the people around you. Because the biggest positive outcome or the most fulfillment I have ever had is when someone tells me, hey, something I did inspired them. Hey, that was freaking awesome what you did. It pushed me to want to work this hard. But it might not be training. It might be your ability to give money to charities. It might be your ability to give time to a cause, something helping children that, you know, don't have the best cards dealt to them, or helping anyone with just down on their luck, whatever the case may be. The opportunities are so wide. I feel that if you ultimately want to get the most excitement out of life and the most fulfillment, you shouldn't want it to just be to check the box. You should want it for the passion, the reason, the purpose of positively affecting and creating good for as many other people as possible. So this is this thing that I'm purely just sharing without much context of how to get to right or wrong in this situation. This has enlightened me and really made me think even deeper into what I'm doing and why am I doing it and what is next for me. And I know after this that what is next for me is going to continue to be pushing very, very hard towards big goals, big things for my life, family, kids, company, fitness, all, but always heavily looking at the reason for each. Because I have looked at the reason I do some stuff, and I'll give one little piece of context that just seems so dumb and so small and so minuscule. And I really had this even before I did the Ironman. But looking at the reason why I do things and judging, is that really worthwhile and does that make sense? And the one little piece of context I have is up until recently, I have this, and anybody, I think my wife sometimes hates this the most, and I know a lot of people are probably frustrated, but people kind of are frustrated by it, but also love it. I have an insatiable desire to complete a task, stay consistent, and continue on no matter what. My biggest weakness is to do that in things sometimes that I have not run through this filter that I'm speaking of today, and I'm giving something with very low value too much relevance in my life. Perfect context. Up until recently, I would read any book till completion, even if I fucking hated it, because I feel like when you start something, you should finish it. That is now gone from the plate because I have realized I've read some books that like I wanted to get the context out of it, but it was so damn painful that I just couldn't get around reading it. And I pushed myself through it, and I've realized, nope, I'm done with that, because the next book I read was awesome, and I could have just got on to the better thing sooner. And so, all in all we're going through today is use a filter in your life about the things that you're doing, and are they for a really true positive outcome to be able to positively affect others. Even reading a book is for me to positively affect others, because I'm trying to harvest the information that allows me to have a bigger impact. Realizing now I'm very impact driven for my purpose. Figure out why you're driven. Figure out if what you're doing is checking boxes or it's truly on and in line with your mission. I promise you it's going to allow you to accomplish more, move faster, and stay more motivated, because these things, when they're aligned with my mission, like, I don't see how people can't be happy, because no matter how fucking hard life is and how shitty things can be, when you're aiming at a goal, you realize all that stuff's going to happen and you realize all this adversity is going to come up. But damn, that process is very, very cool getting there. It's not about getting there. Getting there is really not that exciting. Hitting this whole Ironman thing and hitting the better goal was not that exciting. It was the process of being horrible at swimming and learning how to, and being put in this area where I truly, truly suck at something, and forcing myself through it and forcing myself to overcome that. And that journey of growth was the coolest part. It wasn't the outcome. So I hope this has given you some insight of how to maybe put a filter or create a filter in your life of, hey, why am I doing things? And am I purely just checking boxes? Because that can be very, very shallow. But if it's on mission, if it's mission centric, it can be extremely, extremely fulfilling. And it's not just fulfilling you, it's helping everybody around you. See ya.